definition of global warming, no? Ba, yun yung hindi ko na ipakita nung walang ano siya, no? Wala siya dating ano. Global warming. Naku, dumating Mr. Valenzuela na late na. Sana ba si global warming? Carbon dioxide. Sana si carbon dioxide. Daming dumating ah. Okay, do you see this class?
Yes po.
Oh, yan. So ito yung last time, no? Yung ano ba ito? May mga nakaharang. Oh, look at the image there, no? To the right. Do you see it? Last, no? Ito. Ayan, carbon dioxide absorbs and emits infrared radiation. So ito yun, no? How it initiates is when a carbon dioxide molecule will absorb a photon, yun, photon from infrared spectrum of light. Ayan. And then when it is absorbed, after a few microseconds, it will again release the photons, and that will be the one, no, that will cause this carbon dioxide molecule to vibrate. So pag nag-vibrate siya, all other adjacent molecules, whether they are not GSG, no, they are not greenhouse gases, or they are just simply the water vapor, no, H2O. No? Yun yung ano naman, no? Water vapor molecule. They will, upon vibration of the carbon dioxide molecule, they will transfer the energy into the surrounding molecules, and then they also start to move. No? Merong motion, and that motion will again cause collision in the other surrounding molecules. So ganun na initiate, no, ang global warming. It is because the motion of these molecules, when they start to also collide and vibrate because of the carbon dioxide, no, release of a photon, infrared from infrared light spectrum, it will already become like a domino effect, no? Merong enthalpy or transfer of the motion and energy of the motion into the other surrounding molecules. And all of them eventually will become moving, and that will increase the temperature of the atmosphere. That is the initiation. Pero na-initiate na yan before, because as you have more carbon dioxide molecules, there will be a lot more that will absorb and vibrate when they release the photon. Yun yung initiation. It is called, ang tawag doon ay infrared radiation, no? Forcing in carbon dioxide molecules. Yun, no? Ang nangyayari. Yan ang initiation. Pero nangyari na yan, na-initiate niya na before. So what's happening is during whatever part of the earth, no, or the globe, no, when it rotates, di ba? Whatever is exposed to solar radiation, sila yung magkakaroon ng photon, no? Collision and emission. And then, yun naman nasa dark side during nighttime, yung other side of the globe na hindi exposed sa solar radiation, magi-stop yung doon, no? Magi-stop yung for a moment na hindi sila tinatamaan, yung carbon dioxide molecules are not being hit by photons, hindi sila magbabibrate. Pero when it again faces the sun and is hit by solar radiation or solar energy, magbabibrate sila. So yun yung continuous cycle, no? As the earth rotates, there will always be a side of the earth's atmosphere that will have this constant vibration and motion. Therefore, it is an ever-ending sequence of increase in temperature of the atmosphere. So the solution is very obvious. Stop emission of carbon dioxide. Yun yung kasing number 1 na greenhouse gas. And also the methane gas, sila yung main, 1 and 2 yun. So yun yung nangyayari, that is the main cause of global warming. Okay, ayan. So yan ang talaga nag-i-initiate, it's the infrared photon that hits the carbon dioxide molecule. Okay, ayan. So now let's go back now to the update. I will now show you the update on the climate change. Let me share this. Share. Wait. Di pala yan. Sorry. Mali, mali. Stop share yan. I will share. Sana siya? Wait, ulit. Share ako ng PowerPoint. Okay? Sana siya? Not here? Hindi ko makita. Wait, plus natabunan. I will go back again. Open it. Natabunan na siya. Yan. Ito yung update, It is the projected climate change, There. Share the projected climate change. Okay, so ito yung update nung 2018, Okay. So I assume na you already understood yung first lecture, yung mga projections ng Pag-asa sa 2011. Ano yung pinaka-importante doon? Affected din ng Philippines, ng global warming, and however we are on the lower side of the increase, we are only up to today, it's around 0.85. Since 1975, 0.85 degrees ang na-increase in degrees centigrade, while the average today is 1.2 to 1.3, nag-i-increase pa. So okay pa tayo, but we are the ones suffering from the effects of extreme weather events because of global warming. And now, if you remember do sa lecture before, there are 2 governing laws that we have to follow. This is this updated part, ng that is I am going to present, Nyari. Wait, okay. So there are 2 laws. One is the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, and then the Climate Change Adaptation Act, CCA of 2009. Yun yung governing laws, why geologists are involved in finding solutions and mitigating measures, to counter the effects of these 2 laws. Yung pinaka-generic dyan is this one on the right, any type of disaster, whether it is geological in nature or it is climate change in nature, yun yung meteorological or atmospheric processes. Itong sa right is all, geological and even atmospheric. Kaya mas generic or mas encompassing itong DRR, So ito yung nangyari, That's why these arrows here are showing na yung mga hazards caused by climate change, yan, including the sea level rise, droughts because of high temperatures, and then flooding events, high precipitation of La Nina, they are all incorporated eventually. The hazards here are under the RRR. So the geologists are involved more in the RRR, disaster risk reduction, but we also address these other problems, especially those that will have the triggering effect that will cause geohazards are extreme weather events like what yung storm surges is because of strong wind. Flooding, extreme rainfall, landslides also because of extreme rainfall that softens the ground and enters the cracks in rock. They lose the cohesive strength. Of course, the rock itself will move down along a slope. That is what we call landslide, mass wasting. And other geomorphological surficial features are changed because of interaction with the weather, weather events. Yung snow, they also will cause flooding, yung melting of the snow and all other changes on the surface. So those are what we call issues that are both climate change or weather events, and also the impacts are the geohazards that happen. Ang wala lang dito sa climate change ay volcanic and earthquake processes. They are purely geological in nature. All the rest, I have an overlap with climate change, extreme weather events that are the triggers, nagtitrigger siya ng geohazards on the surface. Okay? So today, we are all here in this other side, right side, but we also address climate change in terms of helping identify what will be areas that are not going to be highly impacted by flooding and landslides mainly, or erosion. Okay? Ayan. So that is the way today, puro tayo sa disaster risk reduction and management. But we are not avoiding any issue related to climate change or extreme weather events. Okay? Ayan. So because of that, let's now go to the other updates. So ito ay, before we saw that ang ating tiningnan last time was only this part there, yung present, there is extreme weather events na identified. And then we are also doing the daily weather forecast, di ba? Kaya may suspension. Nagkakaroon na tayo ng warning. Yung DRRM natin, Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, DRIMC. Yun hinihintay, yung data from PAGASA and other agencies monitoring weather events, and then kaya nagkakaroon ng declaration of suspension of classes and offices to avoid further accidents and disasters. Yun yung what we call the proactive approach. We anticipate so we can prevent. Yan yung ginagawa. But the future now is required. Ano yung ibig sabihin? Hindi lang hanggang yung present and up to tomorrow. Yung when you say future, yung medium to long term. There, here, it's the medium to long term. This has to be also done now. Yan yung project na dapat it is realistic. There, climate forecasting, but it is about also anticipating the worst case that can happen in the medium term. Yung medium term kasi class yun yung mga 5 to 10 years, Pero when you say long term, more than 10 years, long term yan up to maybe 25 years. Basta there is a planning stage, but it is constantly being updated. So ito yung gagawin na dapat. So what does it mean, class? Even geologists now will have to anticipate what is the worst case that can happen in the next 10 years. Yan yung medium term. So that's why we do more modeling today. We use GIS and modeling. So we can anticipate saan nagiging worst case that has to be avoided or minimized ang effect. And ito pa, yung mas the biggest challenge is in this one. It's not anymore climate variability. Ito yung changing of the process of changing. Pero pag na-reach natin yung point na no return, we cannot go back. Ito yun. Future climate change na we cannot go back anymore. We have to not, as much as possible, ito yung dapat na rin nating ma-avoid. Look at that next decades up to what? Next 10 years to 100 years yan, no? Century. Oh, okay? Yan yung ginagawa as a timeline that has to be properly studied. Eh, sinong gagawa nito for us is the United Nations, no, IPCC, no? It is the International Cooperation, no, for Climate Change. That many countries have already participated. Okay, ito yung challenge today. And the geologists here are challenged to make the forecast or the projections by modeling. Yeah, at least itong medium term, no? Mas magiging complex kasi we do not know what are the other factors along the way, but truth maybe not part of the model, but yun ang pinapag-aralan pa rin. So we are doing scenario building, yung mga scenarios of different cases, no, or anticipating anong factors are present, so you can have several scenarios, no. It's a model. For each model, it is a scenario you want to prepare for. Okay, especially when we talk about disaster risk reduction, but they are both geological and climate generated or climate triggered hazards. Okay, yan ang challenge. At least tayo dito, maybe it's possible the next 10 years, kaya pa natin yan. Pero yung beyond 10 years to 100 years, that's the more challenging part. Okay? Yeah, yan na yung present, no? Requirement. Okay, because of that, so yung Pag-asa, gumagawa na siya ng sarili niyang mga projections, yan, La Nina and El Nino, no? Ito yon, no? It is simply showing us, these are your ocean currents, no? As I said, yan ay nag-generate ng weather events, no? Yan yung daily occurrence of humidity, temperature, and rainfall. Normally, yun yung tinitignan, no? So that can be forecasted. Pero this is a cycle of La Nina and La Nino, and they are already being anticipated because meron na tayong monitoring of this temperature of the and movement of our ocean currents, no? Mga oceanic currents yan that generate. Yun ang main effect niya is the temperature of the sea ocean surface and the atmospheric temperature are all affected. They generate the tropical cyclones, no? The drought, extreme rainfall, yun yung effect. Snow, lahat yan ay because of this earth cycles ng found in the oceans, ocean currents and the air currents as well. And then if you input the natural volcanic eruption and earthquakes, no, ito rin will cause hazards as well. Doon yung geologists naman mag-study more. Okay? So, now, ito yung ito yung updated again, but it is 2011, di pa nga updated to, no? Basta ito yung proof today kasi ito 2000, no? But it is now 2025, no? 24. So ito, if you just look at that, ito yung 1975 and then now it will be around this, no? It is 1.2. There is another image there, no? So ito lang, no? This is another example. Ito 20 na, no? Look at that. So ito, if you just look at this projection of the red line there, no? That is the moving average yan, no? Average nila, so from 1975, ito yun, no? Biglang rapid ang increase. And then if you project that further, no, up to 25, 24, ito ay magiging 1.2 na. That red line, no, is 1.2. If we are on this side, 1.2 na yan there. 1.1, 1.2. Okay. Projection, pero actually, it's now, many are saying, in the next 5 years lang, or 2030, abot na natin yung 1.5, no? Parang ganun ang sinasabi. Yun yung point of no, ang tina-target today as the point of no return, or what we try to, that is the maximum we should allow for the greenhouse gas emissions, no? To affect the temperature. So yung nagiging target today is 1.5. Hindi na yung dati 2. No? Dati 2 yung point of no return. Sabi ng mga scientists, why wait for 2? Yung 1.5 na lang, let's achieve it because we have a an allowance no for reaching 2. Safe pa rin tayo kahit 1.5, but we have prevented already the rapid increase of this temperature no? Increase no? Up to 1.5. Malilimit na natin sa 1.5. Okay? So yung ang ibig sabihin niyan class na to do that no, ano ba siya? We have to do this planning. Yan. Yun yung mga planning of preventing us reaching the 1.5. Ha? Yun ang ginagawa na. No? Yung to anticipate that 1.5, we have to do the planning today. No? Yan yung medium term na. Ay, hindi pa natin, what more, if you plan for 1.5, for 2, dito na yan, pag umabot sa 2, but it's almost impossible na raw to revert back. No? Hindi na makaka-recover daw yung ating global system. Hindi na babalik sa dating what we know today. In fact, hindi na nga, no? There are what we call new normals in weather events. So, yun ang ating ipe-prevent. Okay? So, today, ano ba yung gusto mo isapakita? So in the Philippines naman, no, although this is misleading kasi, no? Kasi ito Fahrenheit pero ang ano natin ay no, ang trend na to is the one that we are going to follow, but it is 2015. So 2011 yung dati, ito 2015. Pero if you follow that inclination, we will use this 1975 no. Ito, look at that no. Pagka yung inclination nito 1975 is a bit higher. Sandali lang class ha. I have to give me 2 minutes class ha. Okay? So that is a bit higher no. So if you will look at that, yung increase natin is only around, so ito is no, above 0.8, di ba? Ito yun no. Look at that inclination here no, going higher. It is around that one no, 0.84 in fact yan eh. So sa Philippines, ito yung tinitignan nating trend. No? So as I said, we are still a bit okay than the average, global average of 1.2. Okay, so in the future, this is the one, no? The climate projection and its impacts are the one we want to be prepared for. And the geologists are asked to look at the hazards. No? It is the conditional climate expectations that will cause the hazards. Yung conditional means case-to-case basis. No? What is the trigger? Ano yung nagti-trigger ng geohazards because of climate or extreme weather events? Yun yung ating projections now. No? So we will rely in the Philippines, no, hindi lang Pag-asa. Ang ginagamit daw nga natin ngayon ay yung Japan. No? Magaling din mag-project yung Japan and also yung US. No? NOAA. Because they know the changes in the ocean currents. No? Alam nila yung effect on the atmosphere. So we use the Japanese and also the United States no for projection. And meron naman silang slight differences. So that's the way to also counter check no each other's model or scenarios. So if we do this, we are better also prepared no to make the warning or we do evacuation, and the long term is the relocation. Like for sea level rise, mabuti mabagal siya. No? Pero what if it is a large storm, no? Yung mga super typhoons, sandali lang pagdaan niya, maybe 1 week, disaster na. Yung sea level rise still will take a longer time, no? Before it reaches yung worst case na 1 meter already, no? In the Philippines. So we have time to prepare, no? Pero pag sa mga storm surge or strong typhoons causing floods and landslides, ano lang, 1 week lang, no? Preparation. So, nangyari, evacuation na lang. Okay? Those are the effects, no, of these projections. Okay, now finally, ito yun, no? What is important? Now, what is the action of the whole world? So, this is the one we are trying to achieve. So, ito, we'll just look at the RCP. Ano yung RCP? It is the representative concentration pathway of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas emissions, no? Yun yung mga scenarios na tinitignan, no? Emission-driven scenario ng global warming, no? These are your greenhouse gas, methane, nitrogen, nitrous oxide, the other greenhouse gases that constantly are emitted and are causing increase in temperature or global warming. Ang tawag doon ay radiative forcing. Yun na. So yung word na radiative forcing is nonetheless is just a measurement of the heat that is being generated in the atmosphere by solar radiation. No? Yung heating up of the atmosphere, but we know it is actually the infrared, no? The one there, no? That is also initiating the has initiated the increase in temperature. Okay, so ang RCP is a model, no? Radiative forcing of solar energy on carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas molecules. So ang measurement niya ay ito, no? There, no? That is the watts, no? Watts per cubic meter, no? Hindi, per square meter pala of the area, no? It's in the surface of the earth. Okay? So ito yung ating gustong tingnan, no? And when you say radiative forcing, ito yung also the amount of carbon dioxide. Kasi sila yung sila yung nagkokos nga ng no, na initiate na the vibration. So, these are the scenarios there, no? So, let's look at the RCP na lang. CO2 concentrations there, no? On the left there. Okay, these are the models that are being done, no? Mga different models, no? Ano yung magiging maximum effect, no? Now, since we are here, no, 2020, yan, lahat yan ay nag-start pa lang i-model, di ba? But this is the projection, as I said, no, ito yung for the next century, no, 2100. Okay, 2024. So, these are the different models na path we want to follow if, of course, or we want to avoid, no? Yung na upper part is what we want to avoid. And ano yung ideal case? Itong red. We are going to reduce dapat the carbon dioxide and then we can even recover, no, back to the at least ito no early 2000, no, or maybe it's 2005. Ayan, no, doon na lang siya, no. Yan na lang yung amount of carbon dioxide concentration emitted, no. There. That's the ideal, no. Okay, ano yung next? Of course ito, RCP 4.5. Ito lang yung that is the amount, no, of the heat that is going to be generated in the atmosphere or be absorbed, no, in the atmosphere. RCP 4.5 is the scenario. Ito dapat ang ating i-achieve. The best, no, dapat is to achieve this. Why? Of course, we cannot maximize first yung going back, no, kasi point of no return is going back to what is the conditions, no, before 2000. Ito yun, no? That is the best, ideal. But what is the tolerable is this one, the green. And what is the maximum we have to attain na lang is the blue. Ito na lang, no? There, no? Pero, stabilization without overshoot pathway, no? at stabilization after 2 Pero it's too long. Matagal pa yan, no? Tina-target, no? So dapat dito na lang tayo, no? We want to follow this at least, no? So that we know for the next 40 years, no? Ito, no? 60 years, ayan, no? Di nga 60 years, tama. No? Ano pala? 70 years pa, no? 75 years, no? Dito tayo, sa pathway na green. Ha? Ito yon, no? Yan na lang yung amount of carbon dioxide that will heat up the atmosphere, no? At that, wattage, no? W is the watts, no? Ayan, yun yung parang converted to heat yung watts, no? Yun yung energy there, no? Solar energy absorbed there. So, those are the models now that we have to follow, no? So, itong green dapat. Wag na nating hintayin doon na 100 years, stabilized. It's too long, no? So, the action now is, what? To achieve at least ito, RCP 4.5. And that will also mean, hindi na siya tayo maghihintay ng point of no return ng 2,100, which is 2. 1 point, which is 2 degrees, no? Centigrade since 1975. Hindi na dapat tayo maghintay, no? Because why? Kasi the trends now show that yung kahit yung 1.5 natin na target, sa 2030 daw, it can be, reached, no? That's the problem. So, if that is the case, that we accept, action should be taken. Drastic na nga dapat, no? Action should be taken. Today na. Hindi na pwede yung, mag-wait pa ng mag-wait. 230 na nga yung 1.5 na gusto nating i-target na increased. So, yan ang nagiging debate, no? That all countries should contribute na, no, in reducing the carbon dioxide emission. Okay? That is now what is being pushed. Pinupush yan ng United Nations, no? Okay, class, can you see on the screen? May nakikita kayo sa screen, class, na
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay, so ito na. Ito yung warning now, no? Look at that, 2024, February, no? So this is the one that has the best evidence so far na we are approaching the 1.2, 1.5, no? Approaching the tipping point is the point of no return kasi parang yung pag nag-tip ka na, wala ka ng chance maibalik yung tip is parang yung you throw away something, yun yung tipping point, tapos mahuhulog, no? Parang yung garbage can, no? Pag umangat na yung kanyang yung back niya, no? Yung back of the truck, of a garbage truck, magtitip. Ang tawag doon tipping, no? Tapos mag-slide down, no? That's the same way as saying that is the point of no return pag inalis mo na what you are carrying, no? So, tipping point is the 1.5 degrees na sinasabi ko, no? That may evidence na in the Atlantic Ocean, no? Yung collapse of the current there is a major, no, feature that will make the climate shift again, no? Magiging more extreme weather events until it reaches 1.5 degrees na, no? Tipping point, no? Is the 1.5 degrees. So yung ito yung based on the circulation, nagche-change na. So that means marireach na natin yung 1.5, no? Tipping point. Okay, so ito, scientists believe even as early as 2025, there is already the point of no return. Ano yun? 2 years from now or next year, napakaaga. Yung iba 2030, no? So here is the one. Will breach 2 degrees by 2030. So yung 1.5 is between 2025 to 2030. Yun ang ibang warning ng scientist. So still, but nevertheless, no, ito pa rin, no? We are using the 1.5 as the target, no? We are still using it na yun ang ating target, no? Okay? So, yun yung ano, yun yung tipping point na sinasabi ko, no? Should not wait for 2 degrees, no? It should be 1.5 degrees. Okay? Okay, now let's go to that. What is now the action of the world? Ito rin pala yan, no? Ito rin ba yun? Ito na pala, sorry. Pareho pala itong na-open ko. Sorry, mistake, my mistake. So what's the action of the world? Ito, ang action ng world. No? PowerPoint, open the PowerPoint. Wait hindi ko mabasa yung PowerPoint. Wait a minute. Okay. So open it. PowerPoint. There. So this is the action of the world. Do you see this now, class? It's a PowerPoint. Nakikita nyo na ba yan?
Yes po.
So yan ang yun ang action that has been started in the early 2000. Ano yung maipapromise at makocommit ng each country to help solve the problem of global warming. And it is not anymore waiting for the 2-degree increase in average surface temperature. It is 1.5 degrees na ang ginagawang maximum that we have to achieve. So it started more on the what are the physical actions, no? Ito na naging mas siya nung 2021 mas madami na ang nag-start to contribute. Okay? Ito yung so every year they have this one, no? United Nations Climate Change Summit commitments, no? Or it's called COP 26. No, ito yun, no? Nung 26 meeting yan, nung 2021, ito, nung COP26, ito yung mga munang commitments, no? Okay? So first, let's look at this, no? So you will know ano yung ginagawa na ng mundo, hindi na yung kanya-kanya. Okay, so yun, no? Yung UN Climate Change Conference, no? 2021, it's called COP. COP26 to, no? Yan, yung 2021 is COP26. So every year, no, may 26, 27, 28 na nga ngayon. Nangyari. So ito yun ang basic. So ito ang pinapakita. So this is the natural factors there, no? Yan yung natural carbon dioxide factors.
Excuse me po,
no?
sir.
Hmm.
May hindi daw po kayo na-admit.
Meron ba? Why?
Opo.
Meron ba? Sino ba yung hindi ko na-admit? Sige, exit. Participants. Okay, si ano pala, no? Si Legaspi and Vergara na late. Sige, okay. Hindi na kasi nagfa-flash yung names nila sa akin eh. Okay, so going back. Ano nakikita? Ayan, meron na ba uli nakikita? Okay, so ito daw yung natural conditions, no? Okay, you will see this. These are the natural, no, fluctuations, no, of factors. So, but still, it is simulated by, of course, by the data, no, na filter out ano lang yung pwedeng nagko-contribute ng carbon dioxide or hindi totally greenhouse gas yan. Let's say just the methane and the carbon dioxide. Ito lang, no, it is a constant, no. There, no, even after 1975, yan, no. There, no? Ano itong blue? Yan yung man-made. Human factors and natural factors if we add them. Ito yung based on modeling na. Yan. So it's obvious, ito yung observed, ito yung correlated with this one. It is the natural and the man-made. So ito yung, again, the 1975 made it increase rapidly. Kaya ito na yung naging climate change. Rapid ang change ng average normal weather events. No? Since 1975 up to the present, it is beyond 30 years. So it's already climate change. And it's still happening. No? Still continuously. So ito yung ano, no? Yan lang, the natural factors are constant lumalabas there. These are all driven by anthropogenic factors or yung emissions caused by man's activity. Okay, because of that, ito na, look at that, no? It is in 2020, no? Nandiyan lang siya, no? 1.2. Ito na, no? If you get the average of this, maybe it's around today, it's maybe between 1.2 to 1.3. Malapit na nga sa 1.5. So that is the problem. It is fast approaching yung piniling point of no return natin. Kasi the warnings na we will achieve this by 2025. Yung ibang scientists, yun namang iba, ang 2 is by 2030. Hindi na nga aabot ng 2,100. Pero kasi very rapid itong ating increase in average surface temperature. Okay, so because of that, anong sabi? Let's now do more. Oh, ayan. Can it be kept? Sabi nila ay 1.1 but now it's actually today, no? Ito na nung 2021, 1.1 daw, no? But it's now to 1.2 to 1.3. And these are the amounts of the ones contributed by human activity in terms of carbon dioxide, yung 2,400 billion tons, no? So if we add 500 billion tons, it's only 50-50 chance now we will be staying under 1.5 as the new point of no return or tipping point. Okay, and because that amounts to an average of 40 billion tons, no, we emit, no, every year. Ito yung mga data that is causing the global warming. Carbon dioxide pa lang yan. And of course, these are the projections. We do not want to reach this one. And even this one, ito 2 degrees, it will be totally higher temperature in all parts of the world. No, ito yung yun yung, of course, this means change will be drastic in the Arctic. Syempre, di sa equator konti lang, no? The lower the color means konti lang ang change, no? Kasi sanay tayo sa mainit. So we will still maybe experience increasing heat but not much higher than the ones in the Arctic and Antarctic. Mas malaki ang change of difference, no? Kaya sila ay may glacial melting ang nangyayari. Ito yun. Okay, but we want to maintain it at least, no? Ito kasi nilagpasan na yan, eh. It's now here. We are now somewhere here, no? Before reaching the 1.5. Okay, yung color is increase in temperature there. Okay, and these are the other scenarios. Ito ay precipitation naman, no? Mas maraming ulan na there, no? There, no? In the high latitudes, no? But what about here in the ito northern hemisphere ito, no? Hindi pinakita naman dun sa sa tropical areas. Ito ay yung nangyayari today even in Canada na meron na silang extreme rainfall. US madalas na rin yung para silang may habagat na rin doon, no? Large floods happen even in Los Angeles, San Francisco, no? And even in New York, gano'n na rin na parang nauundoy na rin sila, no? Nagiging more extreme precipitation. It's happening, in fact, reaching already the beyond 1 degree, it's now 1.2 to 1.3. And then here is the average sea level rise there. If we are looking at ourselves here, no? Ayan. So, ang study was in Southwest Pacific, it is around 15 centimeters there. No? So, yung 15 centimeters, ito na yan. Yan na yan. There, from here to there, no? 15 centimeters yan. Ito, 25 kalahati. Darito tayo. There, no? We are somewhere here, 15 centimeters. But in Southwest Pacific, baka ito yung trend natin. Pacific Ocean side. If there is more, glacial melting, ayun, large impact. glacial melting because of intensive carbon dioxide emission of fossil fuel. Ito yun. Yun yung worst case. Baka ganito rin yung sinusundan. It's not these other scenarios. So, it's related to the use of fossil fuel or carbon dioxide emission, methane and carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas. So, ano yung sagot? We have to stop using this. Yun na yung dapat gawin. Why? We cannot allow, we are still using it. Yun ang best. We do not anymore try to reach the point we are going to continue using the petroleum-based products. So anyway, these are just the examples of the extreme weather events happening in Philippines. As I said, last time, ito yung update. Number 9 pa rin tayo sa risk. We are better prepared. There is, despite all of these hazards and effect of climate change, we are still okay. We are anticipating and being able to prepare. Ito yun. Diba last time sabi ko number 9 tayo, diba? Ito pa rin. We're still number 9. The worst countries are there, in island countries, Tonga, Vanuatu, Dominican Republic, Antigua. These are Solomon Islands, Guyana. They are all, in the Southwest Pacific and also in the basta sa Pacific, area. Yeah, those are the ones, being affected by more of calamities. So, ano yung 5 future impacts daw? 2040 naman ang sinasabi. Kanina merong 2030, yung iba 2050, yung 2 degrees. Ito naman, yung 1.5, this was the 2021 projection. Ay 2040. So, whether it is 2040 or 2030, ang action should be taken now. Diba? Ayun yun. So, we should act immediately. Yun na yung dapat gawin. Although these are just the projections, but we have to be, of course, following prevention, diba? Is better than cure. Di prevent na natin ma-reach nga yung 1.5. As today, even today, we start doing the actions. Okay. So, ito. If we lower the global warming, we will minimize na the chance of reaching 1.5. Ito, minimizing these tipping points, whether it is 2 or 1.5. Okay? So ngayon ang hinihingi? Ano hinihingi? For the political leaders to commit. Okay. These are just the wake-up calls, but magko-commit na sila. So ito yun. So to be able now, to be able now na we will not keep 1.5 degrees as the maximum by mid-century 2040 to 2050. Ito yung dapat gagawin. Accelerate the pace of coal, curtail deforestation, speed up the switch to electric vehicles. So yun yung alternative, and also encourage investment in renewables. Ito yung 2021 lang. Hinihinga na ng commitment and technology should be available. How do you replace coal? Yun, So it's an alternate source of energy. And it will also mean you do not burn coal. What about the other petroleum products? And then these are the other regulations that are needed. Protect aquatic ecosystem, restore ecosystems, build defenses, yung coastal defense, other type of mitigating measure, warning systems, and other ways, or to also protect our infrastructure and agricultural areas so we can still maintain our food supply. And also there is saving lives and property. But this is the one, the key here is this. There should be money spent for research and development and actual use already of these new technologies, yung alternative technologies. It is also for recycling carbon dioxide. Okay? And there should also be a commitment of all the countries, work together to deliver. Hindi yung isa lang gagawa. Of course, yung Japan, very aggressive, Korea. But they are not rich as the other G7 countries, no? Yung in Europe, US, and ano, Russia, China, India, no? Yun yung mga G7 countries, no? They are the ones being asked to commit. And here are the main emissions contributors, no? There, no? So China, India, US, European Union, no? Then Russia and Japan, ay baliwala, minor. Pero Japan is the most aggressive, of course, no? In developing technology, carbon capture and recycling and alternative uses, no, of energy, sources of energy. So, ito naman yung update ng COP28. After the COP 2021, no? Kailangan meron ng commitment on the funding. So ito na yung finance, technology, capacity building is to train, no, other people who can help in the technology of new alternative resources. Ito yung na-commit from 31 countries na pledges. Di natin alam kung naibigay yan. So that technology will become available na, no? By kailan? Di 2030. Dapat ano na, may phase out of coal and then may alternative sources of energy. Okay? So, it also involves yung clean energy na alternative clean energy but will not cause carbon dioxide emissions, no? And then they will also be adopted by all of the countries, yung new technology. But there should be, of course, yung funding support. Ito yung hinihingi lagi ngayon. Magkano ang isi-share sa third world countries like us. So when we get the technology, pwedeng libre na, as much as possible. Hindi naman tayo yung source ng greenhouse gas emission. No? We are the victims of global warming. Kaya dapat libre. Parang yan yung principle ng environmental users principle, no? Yung environmental polluter must pay. Ganun din like in climate change, no? Greenhouse gas emitters should pay, no, for the damage to the environment. Nung COP 2024, ito na yung more recent yung February. Governments should establish a new climate finance goal. Meaning to say, mas malaking amount pa i-commit. Okay? So that it can not only talk about just carbon dioxide and cover all greenhouse gases as well. So that means you have to recycle all other greenhouse gases. It's not just the carbon dioxide and methane gas. So there is a concerted effort and all of these greenhouse gases will not anymore be emitted. They are recycled. So it is now, the next 2 years is critical kasi if we do not do it with the next 2 years na may new technology, alternative energy, and stopping the use of coal, we'll still reach 1.5 degrees in 2030. Parang ganun kulang pa din. So every single commitment for finance, adaptation, and mitigation must be in line with the 1.5 degree world. That's the target by 2030. At least no dito sa sa agreement, no. Although sabi ng ibang scientists 2025 meron na yan. So kaya nga action, maybe it's a way to force countries to act now and commit. Okay, so ano yung initiative to reach that? Ang tawag nila niyan ay zero net carbon. What is the zero net carbon? Wala ka nang idadagdag na carbon dioxide emission. So meron pa rin carbon dioxide pero we must not anymore add on from the use of fossil fuels. Yun yung net carbon. So ang pwede na lang yung natural sources of carbon like burning of the forest, evaporation from the oceans kasi hindi na mahirap i-control, no? Ang pwede is stop the use of not only anymore coal, it should also be the use of other petroleum products. Yun ang net zero, no? net zero carbon. You are not going to add any more than the one that is the natural. No? Yun ang ibig sabihin ng net zero carbon. Okay? So how do we reach that? So energy efficiency, change from coal to alternative, pero yung natural gas, ganun din, when you burn it, no, partly, meron din yung mga other greenhouse gas, no, maybe not all are carbon, but meron na rin impurities yan, meron mga impurities din yung gas, eh. Energy efficiency is just a regulation to conserve energy. Pero ito na, no, yung carbon dioxide emissions now have to be trapped. When we want to produce zero carbon emissions, we can instead trap them, hindi na sila aabot again, no, to circulate, and we find, no, a use for those trapped carbon dioxide. Ito yung initiative now. So, ang ginagawa ay, these are on the left are the solar energy, hydropower, no, wind. But now, yung, we instead use what? Electric vehicles, no? But the question there is, ano yung source ng electricity? Hindi naman pwedeng coal din, no? Hindi naman pwedeng coal din, no, to run the power plants, no? So, ang dapat, wala ka ng diesel power plants, wala ka rin coal power plants. So, anong nangyayari? Mag-store tayo ng electric batteries, no? That are chargeable. And these are using a lot of metals naman, what we call yung modern critical metals, no, for renewable energy. Ito parang kailangan din natin ng metals in the periodic table to be able to have technology that are running alternative energy systems and even electric vehicles. Ayun, kaya may mga lithium-ion batteries na tayo, nickel, cobalt, lithium-ion batteries, ganun. They are metals, no? But we have to mine them. Yan ang mga yung side issues, no? We have to find and mine them. We have to explore and find these critical elements. Okay? So, yung renewable energy, of course, is not only about using this, no? So we have to use not only electricity. Now there is hydrogen energy. It is the best today. You know why? Because when you convert hydrogen as energy, no, there is no carbon there that is emitted. Diba? So ito na yung new technology has been developed. They are now called hydrogen fuel cells. Meron na yan. No? Ang problem is you cannot easily buy them. No? Maybe in the countries who have this technology, they can eventually have stations where you can buy hydrogen fuel cells instead of charging your electric motor batteries. Okay? Kaya dun sa Japan, sa Korea, no, they have this modern cities na puro net zero carbon cities. No? Meron na yan, dalawang cities in Korea are being developed, no, to be totally environmentally friendly. No? There is no carbon emission. And they are all using alternative energy. So ito yun, no? Gray hydrogen is, you can still use hydrogen, but it's coming from the yung natural gas, no? Gray pa din, no? It's not green. Ang green, pinaka-clean. Eh. Then blue hydrogen is the one because it involves hydrogen from water. So you just have to convert it into a fuel. But here, there is a capture also. No? If there is some CO2 in that you use blue hydrogen, and then you run a particular conversion, no? It is also to capture whatever carbon dioxide is going to be released in that process, no? When you use hydrogen, no, as power, yung gasification, no? Because blue hydrogen also comes from natural gas, biomethane, biomass, no? But they are still carbon there when you say bio. Living things are composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, CH. Now, the green hydrogen is the one totally, no, there is no carbon dioxide produced. Ito yung using water and you could just convert it to hydrogen gas and that is put into a fuel cell, no? By a simple method of electrolysis. You separate the hydrogen from the oxygen, and then what is your byproduct there? No? You use the hydrogen, the oxygen ng byproduct niya. Or ang exhaust daw niya is excess water vapor that is not burned or converted. So lumalabas ang usok is oxygen, and then yung ano niya, yung moisture is still water. Yun yung mga lalabas sa mga motor vehicles if you use them for transport, no? So ito yung the best today, no? You can use the green hydrogen as the best. But there is no more carbon emission, no more use of coal. Also, hindi nagagamit ng diesel, petroleum to run transport and other engines or factories. So that's the one, no? Being tried to achieve by 2030, puro green hydrogen na. And that has been studied even before, no? Ang ano lang, it has to be cheap. Kasi you need a lot of also modern technology there, no? So to be able to do this conversion of combusting hydrogen, no? Combustible hydrogen, no? To run vehicles. Okay? Ayan. So ano then, finally, no? Carbon capture is one of the systems. If there is a carbon, it should be recycled. No? It is under this one, yung system that we call the gray and the blue hydrogen. Dapat i-capture pa rin. No? Ito yung fuel cells. So, yeah, no? When you produce also hydrogen. No? Yan yung mga fuel cells, and then yan ang gagamitin. Supposed to be. So, ito yun. No? Net zero blue hydrogen, that's the system. These are all done by chemical and other engineers, no, who study. So eventually there, no, we should have this in the Philippines as well. But provided by other countries, no. We cannot afford kasi something like this today. Okay? And again, no, how do we capture? Ito naman yung other part, no. So if you want clean energy, so anything that has carbon should be sequestered, yun ang tawag, no? Carbon capture. But when you capture it, you utilize it again. It's a recycling also method. Okay? So ito yung mga pwede, no? You can store it underground for future use, but you make them inert, no? When you say inert, hindi siya carbon dioxide. Capture mo siya, but you convert it to something solid na hindi naman siya mag-escape into the atmosphere, kaya siya ay underground. Pero this one is the best, no? On the right, you recycle or you utilize them. It's called upcycling carbon dioxide. No? And ito yun pwede. Products of that, no? Concrete, carbonated drinks, no? And ito yung uses, no? After you capture the carbon dioxide, you can still use them. But what are the waste from here? No? They can also eventually become sources of carbon dioxide, no, when they decay, methane gas, pero dapat i-capture na rin. So sa landfill dapat i-capture na rin. And then this is the one, that's the modern one, no. Sa China sila ay major producer, di ba? Ang ginawa nila sa katabi ng coal plants nila, no, nag-grow sila ng mga algae, no, using the captured carbon, at yun naman nagiging kino-convert ng algae into oxygen. So, nag-grow naman yung algae. Ayan. Microalgae is grown, and this is part of food products in the future, no, that they can sell. But remember, algae is still also a carbon compound there, no? So, pag nag-decay yan, ay ganun din, no? Meron pa rin carbon, no? That has to be recycled from this. But this is the new technology they can use, no, in food supplements, pharmaceutical products, and so on and so forth. Sa China to, ha? At least they are doing something. And it's now used, no, technology. But it was developed since 2009. So, ganun ang, the contribution ng China. Okay, so That's it, class. No? So at least you have an idea what's the action today. And the Philippines is just waiting when we can benefit from these new technologies. Okay? So, a reminder, yung mga hindi pa nag-submit, you have up to Saturday to submit your assignment 1. No? Sige, magbibigay akong reminder para mag-submit na yung hindi pa mga nakapag-submit. Although next week, we will continue. Again, online tayo uli next week. We'll just continue the discussion ng environmental problems. And then we will now talk about waste management and pollution after the discussions. Okay? O sige, see you next week.